Oh, this is a bit flash. You fellas know what you're doing, eh? Oi, do you have a pub nearby? I'm a bit more charming when I have a few, you know what I mean? You know what it's like. So, what, you going to be on this show, or? G'day, I'm Seca Bush-Jones. I've got a few acres and I'm looking for a gate opener. Now, I'm auditioning for Farmer Wants a Wife, but just to be clear, we're playing for stations here, eh? Like, this ain't just some pissy little dairy farm on the tablelands we're talking about. Why Farmer Wants a Wife? Mate, you get pretty hard up where I'm from, eh? Like, playing 100 to 1 odds trying to wheel a backpacker at the pub, that gets pretty old pretty quick. So, you fellas wanting to bring 10 gorgeous Sheilas out to my place for a few weeks, I don't care how you chop it all together, mate. I'll lean against a few hay bales for that. And you know, I think it's time I find myself a good girl, you know, like someone I can take with me on a lick run, if you know what I mean. But seriously, that lick's got to go out too. I mean, the cattle depend on it. We can't just be fucking around all the time, eh? I mean, you can lean against as many hay bales as you want for your Instagram and whatever, but I mean, sooner or later, you're going to have to chuck a few into the feeders, eh? Like, it's not going to be just kissing and cuddling by the sunset all the time. There's a bit of fucking work that needs doing, eh? Like, if you've just watched The Longest Ride and think that's what it's going to be like, well, you've got another thing coming. I mean, I've got a gambling problem, crippling debt, and I've flogged this joint pretty bad. So you're going to have to get some dirt on those high-top boots, love, because we're going to be struggling. Now, I'm pretty old-fashioned, so I just do missionary. I mean, as my old fella used to always say, you get on, get off, and get back to work. But I'm open to trying new things. I mean, that doggy style, that sounds like the go. What do I want in a woman? Well, I'll be honest with you, it's getting harder and harder to find good help, so I figured I'd breed myself a few workers, you know. So if you're a fertile heifer and got good childbearing hips and a bit handy yourself, well, come on down. A good AP score would be good too, eh? Like, I've got bookwork that never stops and bass and that needs doing, so a pretty face with a brain behind it, that'd be the go. Now, there will be bad years, but if you stick with me through them and those cattle prices are up, mark my words, you and the kids will get a brand new Toyota Prado, or maybe an old 80s series. Did they ever fix that problem with the Prados and the CVs and that? Like, every time they hit a dirt road, the wheels were just flying off them. It was ridiculous. What would our future be? Well, I can imagine we have a few kids, and maybe we're at a rodeo somewhere. I'm at the bar drinking with all me mates and you're somewhere else sitting with the pram, kids running around. And I see you there, my beautiful wife. So I stumble on over, I'm a little drunk, and I hand you $50. Tell you to grab me a couple feeds from the canteen and wrap them in alfoil because I'll eat later. And grab something for you and the kids as well, but you fed them hours ago, didn't you? So it's getting later and you come over and say, you're leaving. And I say, well, I'm staying. So you push that old pram back to the Prado, you load the kids, the moonlight bouncing off the alfoil, and you head home. Then in the early hours of the morning, I stumble on into the house, track down those feeds and eat them like finger food. Then I come into the bedroom, and I fall asleep next to you, snoring me guts out. And in the silence of my sleep apnea, you think of all those dreams you once had. All those things you didn't do. And as much as you love me and how good the honeymoon period once was, could this really be it? Because alfoil and prams isn't exactly what you had in mind. And over time you start to resent me. And I'm never going to change because, well, this is how it's supposed to be, isn't it? So, we make it work because, you know, the kids, why not? But you'll always have this yearning. No matter what we distract ourselves, you'll always yearn for something more. And who knows how that yearning might manifest itself. But anyway, I look forward to finding out. So if you're keen, give us a go. Catch ya. What about you fellas? You're handy on a motorbike? Well, look, if you're just ever looking for a bit of weekend work, like you're always producing this sort of shit, but like, I reckon it'd be good for you is to come out and do a bit yourself, you know, and good experience and that, and probably make the show a bit better.